Postpartum anxiety and depression, the silent struggle behind the picture-perfect mom. Okay, let's be real for a minute. You've just had a baby. The movies and magazines told you this was supposed to be the happiest time of your life, a moment filled with pure, blissful love. But what if, instead of that perfect joy, you're drowning? What if fear is your new best friend, and sadness is a thick fog you can't escape? We need to talk about no more. Postpartum anxiety, PPD, postpartum depression, PPD. This isn't just a case of baby blues. This is a legitimate medical condition, and it's hitting millions of new parents, often hidden behind forced smiles and the pressure to be the perfect mom. Ditch the guilt. It's not your fault, it's biology and life. Let us smash the myth right now. Experiencing PPA or PPD does not mean you are a bad parent or that you do not love your baby enough. Seriously, it's not your fault. This is a perfect storm created by science and circumstances. The triple threat: hormones, sleep, and stress. 1. The hormonal free fall. Think about it. After delivery, your powerhouse hormones, estrogen and progesterone, plummet faster than a roller coaster drop. This radical chemical shock in your brain can hijack your mood and anxiety controls. 2. Sleep deprivation is torture. We can say this enough. Chronic fragmented sleep isn't just tiring. It actively breaks down your emotional resilience. When you're perpetually exhausted, your brain's ability to handle even tiny stresses goes completely offline. 3. The identity crisis. You're navigating a total life overhaul, loss of freedom, isolation, marital shifts, and the trauma, top trauma, of the birth process itself. All of this piles up and sets the stage for a mental health struggle. 2. Spotting the difference when blues becomes a storm. The key to getting better is knowing what you're dealing with. The baby blues last a couple of weeks, and then they fade. PPA and PPD dig in their heels and stay. But how do you tell the two apart, especially when your brain is already exhausted? Let's break down the major differences in symptoms, because they truly feel like two separate experiences. First, let's look at postpartum anxiety, PPA. The core feeling. With PPA, you feel wired, frantic, and tense, like you just drank 10 cups of coffee and are waiting for bad news. The thoughts. Your mind is hijacked by obsessive worrying about the baby's safety. You might constantly check on them or have frightening, intrusive thoughts about accidentally harming the baby. The action. You might find yourself constantly checking things, totally unable to sleep even when the baby is, and you may experience physical symptoms like nausea or tightness in your chest. Now, let's look at postpartum depression, PPD. Sonra. The core feeling. PPD often manifests as feeling empty, numb, profoundly sad, or just totally flat. It's not just being sad. It's a deep absence of joy. The thoughts. This often comes with intense guilt, thoughts like, I'm a failure, hopelessness, or a complete lack of interest in things you used to love, and sadly, sometimes even in the baby itself. The action. You might withdraw completely from friends, snap at your partner frequently, have uncontrollable crying spells, or find yourself sleeping way too much as a form of escape. I once worked with a client who called me terrified because she'd spent 3 straight hours Googling SIDS prevention and couldn't physically leave the nursery. She knew it was irrational, but the fear was paralyzing. That's PPA talking. It's that overwhelming, irrational fear that tells you something horrible is just around the corner. If this sounds like you, please hear this loud and clear. That intense fear does not cancel out your love for your child. In fact, it often comes from the deep love you feel. This is a medical malfunction, not a moral failure. 3B. Your path to healing, real actionable steps. Recovery from PPD is totally achievable, but it requires a multi-layered approach. You need a team, and you need tools. 1. Professional talk therapy, your game changer. This is your first line of defense. You don't have to carry this burden alone. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. This is your foundation. We work on catching those toxic thought patterns. If I leave the house, something bad will happen. And flipping them into balanced, realistic perspectives. We need to challenge the mental narrative that is wearing you down. Support for the whole family. Partners often experience PPD too. Bring your spouse or co-parent in. Therapy can help you both communicate needs, set boundaries, and redefine your roles without resentment. Remember, stress in one parent affects the whole unit. 2. Medical check-ins, don't be afraid to ask. Sometimes therapy isn't enough to stabilize the chemical chaos in your brain, and that's okay. Medication. If talk therapy isn't cutting it, psychiatric medication might be the boost you need. Always talk to a specialist, psychiatrist, who knows the latest research on breastfeeding safety. The goal isn't to mask your feelings. The goal is to get your brain chemistry stable enough so that therapy and self-care can actually work. Medication gives you the footing to climb out of the hole. 3. The survival basics, non-negotiables. You need to put yourself back on the priority list. These are not luxuries. They are fundamental for survival. Sleep, not perfection. If you only achieve one thing today, let it be a 4-hour solid block of sleep. Ask for help, hire a sitter, let your partner take the night shift. Nothing is more crucial to your mental health than sleep. You cannot pour from an empty cup. The power of no. You are allowed to turn away visitors. You're allowed to skip scrubbing the floor. Your only job right now is to heal and bond with your baby. Period. The dishes can wait. Conclusion, a final word of encouragement. You are not alone in this fight. 1 in 7 women and plenty of dads walk this difficult road. Finding yourself struggling is proof that you're human, not that you're inadequate. The most courageous, loving thing you can do for your baby right now is to take care of the person who takes care of them, you. My final sincere advice: make the silence. Talk to your OB/GYN, your baby's pediatrician, or a therapist today. These professionals are trained to help, and they will not judge you. They've heard it all before. Be kind to yourself. Stop demanding perfection. You are navigating one of the hardest jobs on the planet with almost no sleep. Give yourself a break. If this message resonated with you and you want more science-backed, judgment-free advice on reclaiming your mental health and finding joy in parenthood, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's build a community where silence is replaced with strength and support. Drop a comment below, share your story, or simply type "Me Too." We're here to walk this journey with you. We're in this together.